today we're going to make some cinnamon rolls, and this is what you're going to need. You're going to need some vanilla extract, some cinnamon, some nutmeg, milk, white sugar, brown sugar, some flour, 3 eggs, butter, salt, confectionate sugar, and a packet of rapid rise instant yeast. Alright, let's get started. Alright, what we're going to do is butter our 9x13 baking dish. So I buttered it, and then I'm going to go ahead and just lay in some parchment paper. And then preheat your oven to 350. Alright, first we're going to get our 1 cup of milk and we're going to warm it, and then we're going to add our yeast and our salt. Alright, I warmed my milk for about 50 seconds. Now I'm going to add my yeast. And then I'm going to add my ½ teaspoon of salt. I'm going to mix that and let it get nice and fluffy. Okay, now we're going to add 1 tablespoon of brown sugar. Mix that. Now we're going to add 4 tablespoons of butter to our mixing bowl and our 3 eggs. Here we have our 4 tablespoons of butter, our 3 eggs. We're going to add some flour. Alright, now we're going to add 3½ cups of flour. You may need to add 4 total. We're going to start with 3½ cups. Alright, we have 3½ cups of flour, 3 eggs, and 4 tablespoons of butter. We're going to check on our yeast. Our yeast is doing great. Now we're going to go ahead and add that and mix it all up into dough. Alright, we attached our dough hook. We're going to go ahead and pour in our yeast mixture. And then we're just going to turn it on and let it make dough. Alright, it's forming a dough ball. We're going to check it and see if it's sticky. If it's sticky, we'll add a little more flour. I added a ½ cup, so we have a total of 4 cups of flour, and it's much better. Alright, the dough is all done. We're going to let it rest for a minute and get everything else ready. Alright, now we have our ½ cup of brown sugar. We have a 1/3 cup of flour just to roll out the dough. We have a 1/4 cup of white sugar. We have 1 tablespoon of cinnamon and a ½ teaspoon of nutmeg. We're going to get ready to start rolling out. This is what our dough looks like. I just give a little press and it's coming back, so we're ready to roll it out. Alright, we have our dough out. What we're going to do is just add a little flour. We're going to knead this, and then we're going to roll it out, and then we'll start adding our filling. Alright, we have our dough all rolled out. It's pretty big, and you're going to want to just make sure it's all evenly rolled, about that thick. And then we're going to add some butter and our cinnamon, sugar, and nutmeg. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and add our brown sugar. This is our inside our cinnamon rolls. 1/4 cup of white sugar, 1 tablespoon of cinnamon, and a ½ teaspoon of nutmeg. Get all that mixed up. Alright, we got our 6 tablespoons of butter. We're going to go ahead and melt this just a little bit. Alright, our butter is somewhat melted. We're going to go ahead and start applying it to our dough. Do the melted first. Alright, we got our butter all on there. Now we're going to go ahead and add this mixture. Just shake it on evenly. Alright, so now we're just going to lightly do our topping all over the dough, right on top of that butter. Alright, now we got the cinnamon and the nutmeg and the sugar. Now we're going to slightly lift it off the counter and slightly just start rolling it. Roll it slowly. Alright, now I'm just going to take whatever butter I have left over and just slightly brush it. That way these can stay closed. So I'm just going to take a little cinnamon and just slightly dust it, a little bit of white sugar, and then we'll start cutting them up. Alright, now we're just going to slice them. I'm going to slice these ends off because they're a little uneven. And we're going to find the dead center. Slice that. Move this in front, and then we can make even cuts. Alright, so now I'm just going to kind of score it, make sure I can get enough slice these through. Alright, so I'm just going to slice them through. Look at that. Alright, then you're just going to pick them up gently, place them in there. So I got them all in there, and we're going to put them in the oven on 350 for 25 to 30 minutes. Now we're going to start making the icing. And go ahead and throw your ends in there that we chopped off. Right, now we're going to make our icing. You're going to need 2 cups of confectionate sugar. You're going to need 2 teaspoons of pure vanilla extract, and then you're going to need 1 or 2 tablespoons of warm water, and we're going to melt 4 tablespoons of butter. Alright, so we're going to pour our 2 cups of confectionate sugar in here, our 4 tablespoons of melted butter. We're going to do our 1 tablespoon of hot water, and then we're going to do 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract. Alright, you got 1 in there, then another one, and then we're just going to go ahead and whisk it up. We may have to add more water, but we're going to start with this first. Alright, I added 1 more tablespoon of water. I'm going to go ahead and mix it up. And that's what it should look like. Okay, they're out of the oven. I cooked them for 26 minutes. See how they're golden brown? Alright, let's ice them. Alright, now we're just going to take our icing. And we're just going to go ahead and drizzle it on the top. Alright, I'm going to do them all. Alright, I got them all iced. They look so good and smell so good. Alright, I'm going to try one. And there you have it. So delicious. I had one.